What's up everyone, it's Fun Patrick once again, and in this video we are going to talk about why I believe the Orlando Magic have one of the brightest futures in all of the NBA of any team. First of all, if you have not subscribed already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are going to be having a lot of fun times on Basketball Infinite. The NBA season is so close now. I am super duper excited. Alright, I'm just gonna be straight up. I don't think this team is going to be any good at all whatsoever next year. I think their young players are gonna show progress, but I don't think this is the year for the Orlando Magic to have a lot of success. That being said, I do believe this team is set up for big time success within the next 3 to 5 years, and I think this team has one of the brightest futures in all of the NBA. So I grew up in Florida, and it's a little crazy to think that not even 10 years ago this team was competing in the finals against Kobe Bryant. This is a very different team now. The fan base is super anxious for success to come. I don't think it's going to come this year. That being said, Orlando Magic fans, be optimistic because I think this team is going to have a lot of success going into next decade. They have very nice pieces. They have a competent front office now, and the 2018-2019 season is going to be a time for this team to develop even more. So like our other videos, we are going to go over each and every player on this roster. So let's get started. We're starting with the backcourt. The starting point guard, DJ Augustin, straight out of the University of Texas. He's a 10-year veteran, a former lottery pick, and the former tank commander of the 7-59 Charlotte Bobcats. And you know, he had a low-key good year last year, averaging 10 points a game and shooting very efficiently from the field. He's a good, solid point guard who can easily be a second-string stud muffin on a playoff team. But in terms of this upcoming season, he's going to be a veteran leader on this Orlando Magic team for the young pieces who are trying to grow as leaders, players, and men. And he's a good player to have. I mean, he's not the most exciting player you're ever going to see, but he's a fringe top 200 player, and you could do a lot worse at starting point guard like, I don't know, Emmanuel Mudiay. But I've been a fan of DJ Augustin for a while, and I think that he is going to be a good fit for this Magic team this upcoming season. So backing up Mr. Augustin, we have Jerian Grant, the former first-round pick straight out of Notre Dame. Not to be confused with his brother from the same mother, Jeremy Grant. He's entering his 4th season in the NBA. He has nice size. He has nice athleticism. He has a nice basketball IQ coming from a family of NBA players. And he does need to be more efficient shooting, but he could have the best season of his career, and depending on how things go, he could be the starting point guard at certain points during the season. Okay, starting at shooting guard, we have Evan Don't Google Me Bro Fournier, and please do not Google his last name, you will be very disappointed. He low-key averaged a career high 18 points a game last year, shooting efficiently from the field, but he's an example of how an NBA player definitely needs other areas of his game to be excellent, to be efficient in terms of helping a team get wins on the floor. He is a good shooter, but I do think his playmaking, his rebounding, and his overall game other than shooting does need to improve. He did finish outside of our top 120 last year, and he does need to stay healthy. I do like his game though. He is a shooter and he did well in that regard last year. So if he can stay healthy, I definitely think that he could finish in our top 100 this upcoming season. Next up, we have Terrence, the most random NBA player ever to score 50 points in a game besides maybe Tony Delk Ross. And just straight up, he didn't really have a good year last year. He only played 24 games, didn't shoot efficient at all. I will say I've liked what I've seen from him in the preseason so far. Mario Hezonja is no longer there. So like it or not, Magic fans, he is going to get an opportunity to play a lot because he's on a contract there, but he could be nice, so we'll see. Next up, we have Jonathan Simmons. This dude paid $150 for a G League tryout, and a few years later, he is on a nice contract in Orlando, and he is making enough money to go to Disney World every single day, 5 times a day for the next like 10 years. Good golly gee wilkers. But he's a fun player to watch. He started off the year really strong last year, kind of evened out throughout the rest of the season, but I really liked what I saw from him at times. He has hustle, he has drive, he plays hard, and he is looking to make some magic happen this upcoming season, no pun intended. And this dude has a lot of swag, and Jonathan Simmons is going to make his swag drip all over the Amway Center, brother man dude. I like what I've seen from Melvin Frazier Jr. so far in the preseason, the 2nd round pick. He has nice size, he's a good shooter. I could definitely see him make an impact. I liked his game coming out of Tulane, and he definitely knows how to fill it up. Okay, we are going straight to the front court now, which straight up is a heck of a lot more exciting than the backcourt is on this team. So let's get to Mr. Jonathan 2018 AC Green, Isaac himself. True story, I once played NBA 2K against him, but we'll get to that another time. Anyways, this dude has a ton of potential for real though. He has ridiculous length, very nice defensive basketball IQ for his young age, and he is ready to release that lion that is deep inside his heart this upcoming season. He is one of my favorite players in all of the NBA, not afraid to share his faith. Jonathan Isaac, 2018 AC Green himself. I remember in middle school, in sex ed, we had to watch a video of AC Green explaining to us why we should stay abstinent. So now that means that all Jonathan Isaac needs is a swagged out Jerry curl and some goggles. Next up, we have Wesley Uwundu, excuse me if I mispronounced that, the 2nd round pick last year out of Kansas State. I think he is low-key going to be a good role player in this league for a long time. He has nice defensive basketball IQ. He has a nice NBA small forward body. He knows how to play inside of the three-point line. He does need to get a consistent outside shot, but I had him as a French top 300 player last year, and I think he could definitely make more progress this upcoming season. All right, this next dude is a player I am really excited about, and if he can stay healthy, I think he could have a big impact this upcoming season. His name is Aaron Gordon. This dude is Blake Griffin 2.0 at a young age, but I think he is even more developed than Blake Griffin was at the same age. And if he can stay healthy, I think he could potentially be a top 40 type player next year. He's athletic. He can dunk like good golly gee Williker. And not only that, but his long range shot showed a lot of progression, and that's what separates him from Blake Griffin at the same age, because he has the ridiculous athleticism, but he's also shown that he can shoot the ball, and although he's not Stephen Curry by any means, at his size, he is definitely a guy you have to guard at the three-point line. So that gives his offensive game a lot of versatility. He's fun to watch. He needs to stay healthy. I mean, with that type of athleticism, there's always the risk for injury, but as long as his offensive game can continue to progress, Aaron Gordon could be a big-time player this upcoming season. And we're keeping with the fun here. Next up, the 1st round pick, turning down the Instagram honeys like it's nothing, Mohamed Bamba himself. The Magic probably just found the center of their future, and from watching the preseason, let me tell you, this guy is scary. I watched him hold his own against Joel Embiid in his first preseason game ever, and Joel Embiid is a player I have as a top 10 player in the NBA currently, so that speaks volumes. I already have Mohamed Bamba as a top 200 player in the NBA already after just a couple of preseason games. That is how high I am on him. He has a rap song named after him, and it is not the Bamba number 5, but he does wear number 5. So let's get to it. A little bit of Aaron Gordon in my life. A little bit of Bamba at the 5. A future starting point guard the Magic need. Evan Fournier, please make more threes. A little more wins is what the Magic need. Just noticed Timofey Mozgov is still in the league. Orlando Magic future is Gucci Man, but for now more playing time for the Vucci Man. Okay, I'm done being a goofy goober. Speaking of which, next up is Nikola Vucevic, Mr. Swag Daddy himself. A top 100 player last year, but for whatever reason, Magic fans on the internet do not like Mr. Vucci Man. Please stop being a bunch of haters. Just kidding, you guys are cool. Anyways, Vucevic is a nice player. He puts up nice stats. I will agree with Magic fans though that those stats are sometimes just stats. He doesn't help his team get wins on the floor all the time. Magic fans are way more excited for Mohamed Bamba to take control of that center position for the future. 100% understandable. I'm just as excited. But just with the way this team is set up, Gucci Man will probably get a lot of touches this year. He could potentially be traded before the trade deadline. I mean, he has an expiring contract. This is probably his last year in a Magic uniform anyway. But whether he helps his team get wins or not, I could still see him putting up nice stats. He has a nice overall offensive game. So Gucci Man, keep doing your thing. Nikola Vucevic, you are a stud muffin, and I appreciate you as a person. And well, that's really it for this team, so let's go over some role players real quick. I do really like Kim Birch. He's a 7-footer, he has nice athleticism, and I thought he looked really well at times last season. If he continues to play well, I think he could be a top 250-ish player this upcoming season. Jarrell Martin, the former Memphis Grizzlies first-round pick, who will always have a soft spot in my heart, but he's 6'10", he has nice skills, and he can make an impact for this Magic team as well. Somehow Timofey Mozgov is still in the league. I hope he does well. I'm sure there's a good chance Isaiah Briscoe or Troy Calpain, excuse me if I mispronounced that, I'm sure one of them make this team because they only have 2 other point guards on the roster, so unless they sign a veteran like, I don't know, Ty Lawson, I think there's probably a good chance one of these players make the team, so I'm sure they're stud muffins. Alright, let's just get straight to the point of this video. Why does Flynn Patrick think the Orlando Magic have one of the brightest futures in all of the NBA? I will give 2 reasons for that. Number 1, these front court pieces. Jonathan Isaac, Aaron Gordon, Mo, Hamid, Bamba, oh me, oh my, look at the swag length dripping all over the Amway Center. There is so much length that it reaches all the way across to the Gulf of Mexico. Number 2, and this is just straight up, I feel like this is a team who is one young stud muffin away. Okay, so the way this team is set up, I don't think they're gonna have a good record this year, but I think it's going to be a very positive year overall because Isaac, Gordon, and Bamba are going to progress, but they're still going to get a bad record, and I still think they are going to get a high lottery pick next year, and this is a high lottery pick this team needs because quite simply, they have like 0 long-term players in the backcourt. You get a player like RJ Barrett if you get the number 1 pick, or even a Romeo Langford, or maybe even John Morant if he plays as well as I think he will. If you get a player like one of these stud muffins to go along with the front court beastness that's on this team, good golly gee wilkers, this Orlando Magic team could be really, really dangerous in 3 to 4 years. Just thinking about RJ Barrett or Romeo Langford on this team long term to go with the ridiculous front court pieces is an extremely exciting thought. And I think they're probably going to get a player like this because, again, I don't think the team is going to have a good record, but I think that the front court players are going to develop more. And I think although the team won't have a good record, I think this year is going to be very crucial in setting this team up for future success. But just thinking about it, if the Orlando Magic somehow get the number 1 overall pick, and they get a player like RJ Barrett to team up with these ridiculous front court pieces, good golly gee wilkers, the Orlando Magic have a serious situation on their hands, and I'm not talking about the guy from the Jersey Shore who just got sentenced to prison time. Thank you so much for watching this video. My name is Flynn Patrick. We will be back with more content shortly.